My story starts May of my junior year in high school. I didn't have my license yet, so I still had to take the bus home unless I could get a ride home from my friends. Now, one day I couldn't get a ride home from my friends, and there were two buses that would go to my neighborhood. There was one that would go to the top and one that would go to the bottom. Usually I would take the one that went to the top because it was closer to my house. But one of my friends was actually on the other bus that would go to the bottom of my neighborhood, and he suggested that I come on the bus. So I went on the bus, but there was another girl that went on the bus that I met that day, and a couple of weeks later, I was finally able to convince her to go on a date with me, and a date in where I live in Long Valley, New Jersey, which is pretty much all farms, woods, and churches. There's not much to do, so we went to see the Harry Potter movie. This was the summer of 2011. All in all, went well. I drove her back. I had my license at this point, so I drove her back to her house. She has a very long, windy driveway that leads down to her house. Walked her to the door, did the whole, sealed the whole first date thing with a kiss, and, I was really excited. The date went really well. So, I have to do kind of like a K-turn to turn my car around in her driveway, because it's really not a driveway you can back out of, because it's so curvy and steep. So I was doing this, and you know what? Like, I'm a new driver. This went so well. I really don't want to hit one of their 3 or 4 cars that are in the driveway right now. They're all, packed in there, so there's not a lot of space to turn around. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just put the car in park. I'll get out, see how much space I have, and then I'll just drive away. I put the car in park, and I go over to, see how much space I have. I'm like, oh, I have a lot of space. I'm fine. Then I start hearing a creaking sound. I look up, and the car is rolling towards me, and I keep putting my hands on it. I put my hands on it, trying to use some sort of super strength to stop the car. Of course it doesn't stop. I hadn't put the car in parked. It was only a couple seconds, but it felt like an eternity just watching this car roll, and bump right into one of their cars. And I was like, oh my God. And I ended up moving the car forward a little bit. I took my phone out, turned the flashlight on, and looked at their car, and it looked like it was alright, and it looked like my car was alright. My legs were shaking the whole ride home, and I didn't tell them I hit the car. It's like, oh, there's no damage. Why would I do that? I was like, what if somebody saw? I can't ever go back there. I can't never talk to her. I'm just not. I really like her, but it's just gonna have to be over now. That's too bad. That happened. So I don't talk to her for a couple days, and a couple days later, she invites me over, and one of her friends are there, and they called me in high school. I was known as Mikey, and they're like, Mikey, so how's your car? And that's when I just knew. They all knew, and everyone burst out laughing. And my parents still have never found out that my car rolled into another family's car at that time. And my brother ended up totaling that car a couple days later. But that first date was the start of a long relationship.